The quadruple towers, GILAS Pilipinas vs New Zealand. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today, we are discussing a seismic shift in Asian basketball. For years, the narrative has been consistent. The Philippines relies on heart, speed, and shooting to overcome a perennial disadvantage in height. But that narrative is dead. We are looking at a new reality for GILAS Pilipinas, specifically heading into the next window of the FIBA Qualifiers against a traditional powerhouse, the New Zealand Tall Blacks. This is no longer about surviving the physical battles. It is about dictating them. We're talking about the formation of what analysts are calling the quadruple towers, a massive frontcourt rotation featuring Kaisado, Jun Marardo, AJ Edu, and Quinton Milora-Brown. When you look at the history of GILAS versus New Zealand, the Tall Blacks have historically been the symbol of discipline, size, and brute strength in the Asia-Oceania region. They were the wall we couldn't climb. But recently, that wall cracked. In the previous FIBA Asia Cup 2024 qualifiers, the Philippines secured a historic 93-89 victory, snapping a 4-game losing streak and ending a decades-long drought against New Zealand. That win wasn't a fluke, it was a prelude. Now, with a fully healthy and integrated frontcourt, GILAS isn't just looking to compete. They're looking to present a mismatched nightmare that New Zealand, and perhaps the rest of Asia, literally cannot match up with in terms of sheer verticality and range. We are talking about 4 giants with completely different arsenals working in concert to dominate the interior. This is a story of how GILAS Pilipinas turned their biggest weakness into their most terrifying weapon. Let's dive deep. To truly understand the magnitude of this upcoming matchup, we have to look at the psychological landscape. For years, New Zealand held a mental edge over the Philippines. They were the Tall Blacks for a reason. Their haka, their physicality, their disciplined execution of the pick and roll. It was a system designed to bully smaller Asian teams. When GILAS faced them, we often saw our guards struggling to finish in paint, or our bigs getting pushed out of rebounding position. But that changed in the last window. That 93-89 victory was a watershed moment. It wasn't just a win in the standings. It was a statement of validity. It proved that the Philippines sits at number 22 in the world rankings not by accident, but by evolution. That game showcased a combination of skill and strategy that we rarely see. You had Justin Brownlee doing what he does best, dropping 26 points and grabbing 11 rebounds. But the real story, the catalyst of this change, was a performance of the young giant, Kaisado. Kaisado's performance in that game was nothing short of a revelation. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. He was flirting with a triple-double on the international stage against a top-tier defensive team. That stat line is crucial because it showed us that Kai isn't just a tall body waiting for a lob. He is a hub. He is an offensive engine. And now, as we look toward the rematch, the terrifying prospect for New Zealand is that Kaisado is no longer the sole giant they have to worry about. He is now part of a 4-headed monster. Let's analyze Kaisado's role in this quadruple towers concept. When Kai is on the floor, the geometry of the game changes. In that last encounter, we saw that his impact goes far beyond scoring. Yes, he is a scoring threat inside the ring, but his ability to facilitate is what makes this GILAS team dangerous. 7 assists for a 7-footer in a FIBA game is elite. It means that when the defense collapses on him, which they must do because of his height, he has the vision and the height to see over the double team and find the open shooter. Sado's versatility forces defensive rotations that New Zealand hates making. They pride themselves on staying home on shooters, but you cannot single cover Kaisado deep in the paint. He demands attention. He protects the rim on one end, forcing opponents to alter their shot mechanics. And on the other end, he collapses the defense to open up scoring lanes for his teammates. He is the tip of the spear. But what makes this upcoming window so fascinating is that Kai doesn't have to do it alone anymore. He doesn't have to play 35 minutes of perfect basketball because the reinforcements have arrived, and they are heavy hitters. This brings us to the second pillar of this alliance, Jun Marardo. We are talking about an 8-time PBA MVP. A man who has absolutely nothing left to prove on the local scene, but continues to bring a level of brute force to the international game that is rare to find. If Kaisado is a finesse and the length, Jun Marardo is the immovable object. He is the anchor. When you pair Jun Mar with Kai, or when you sub Jun Mar in to relieve Kai, the pressure on the opponent never stops. It is relentless. Fajardo dominates the paint with pure physicality. His ability to control rebounds is legendary. In international play, second chance points are often the difference between winning and losing. Jun Mar guarantees those extra possessions. Furthermore, Fajardo creates a double nightmare scenario. New Zealand's big men have to wrestle with Kai's length, and then, just as they are getting tired, they have to deal with Jun Mar's girth and strength. Fajardo demands a double team in the post. If you leave him one-on-one, he scores. If you double him, you are leaving shooters open. It is a pick-your-poison scenario for the tall blacks. His experience is invaluable. He knows how to use his body to seal off defenders, creating easy lanes for cutters. The synergy between Kai's modern game and Jun Mar's traditional power game covers every base of interior basketball. But the quadruple towers isn't just about offense. Defense wins championships. And this is where the inclusion of A.J. Edu and Quentin Miller-Brown becomes a game changer. Let's start with A.J. Edu. He is, in many ways, the prototype of the modern defensive big man. He is versatile. He is agile. He is a high-level rim protector who can switch out onto smaller guards if necessary. Against a team like New Zealand, who loves to run complex pick-and-roll actions and motion offenses, A.J. Edu is the counterweapon. He can disrupt the rhythm of the enemy. He doesn't need to score 20 points to be the most impactful player on the floor. His presence alone, his ability to contest shots without fouling, and his lateral quickness essentially shrink the court for the opponent. He is a cleaner, the one who covers mistakes and erases easy layups. Then you add Quentin Miller-Brown into the mix. Recently classified and integrated, he brings a fresh size that the program has been craving. He is a rebound machine. He provides that gritty, thick physical presence that is often lacking in opposing defenses. He does the dirty work. He sets the hard screens. He boxes out the biggest opponent. And he fights for every loose ball. When you connect these four players, Kai, Jun Mar, AJ, and Quentin, you have a front court rotation that is virtually unplayable for the opposition. There is no drop-off. Usually, when a team subs out their star center, the opposing team breathes a sigh of relief. Against GILAS, there is no relief. You take out a 7-footer, and you bring in a massive MVP or a high-motor defensive specialist. It provides GILAS with 40 minutes of board control, 40 minutes of elite shot blocking, and 40 minutes of mismatch opportunities. So, how does this affect New Zealand specifically? The tall blacks are known for their system. They rely on spacing, outside shooting, and high pick and rolls. But that system relies on the assumption that they can move the opposing big men around and exploit gaps in the paint. The domination of the paint by GILAS threatens to kill their game plan before it even starts. If New Zealand cannot secure defensive rebounds, they cannot run in transition. If they cannot finish at the rim because of Kai or AJ Edu, they become one-dimensional, forced to rely entirely on three-point shooting. And as we know, relying solely on jump shots is a volatile strategy. In the last game, the Philippines won via a strong second-half surge and clutch plays. It was a dogfight. But now, with the quadruple towers, the margin for error for New Zealand shrinks dramatically. How do you prepare for a team that can throw 4 different types of elite big men at you? If they go small to speed up the game, GILAS can punish them inside with Fajardo. If they try to match size with size, Kaisado has the skill and range to pull their bigs out of the paint and drive past them. This concept brings a higher chance of winning, simply through the mathematics of size. It is a visual reminder to the entire continent that when GILAS is whole, when the roster is complete, even the traditionally physical teams have no solid answer to the Filipino frontcourt alliance. We must also give credit to the architect, Coach Tim Cone. Having these weapons is one thing. Knowing how to use them is another. Tim Cone is a master utilizing size not just for intimidation, but for tactical advantage. He understands spacing. He knows that having a deep big man core allows him to keep his players fresh. He can demand high-intensity defense from Kai and AJ because he knows he has Jun Mar and Quentin ready to step in. Under Tim Cone, the team is more organized. The spacing is better. The defensive rotations are sharper. He has taken the raw materials, the height, the talent, the athleticism, and built a cohesive unit. He knows that New Zealand respects size, but they fear organized size. And that is what GILAS presents now, organized chaos in the paint. This upcoming collision is more than just a qualifier game. It is a message to all of Asia. It is a declaration that GILAS Pilipinas is no longer the underdog that relies on Puso alone. We have the hardware now. We have the height. New Zealand has long been the measuring stick for strength and discipline in this region. But what they didn't expect was for GILAS to evolve this quickly. They didn't expect the elegance of Kaisado to be backed up by the brute force of Fajardo and the defensive versatility of Edu and Milora Brown. The last time Kai played against the Tall Blacks, we made history. We dominated inside. And remember, when Kai was not in the lineup in previous years, GILAS fell. The correlation is direct. His impact is undeniable. But now, the scary part for the rest of the world is that Kai is just the tip of the iceberg. When Jun Marardo is inside the paint, controlling the rebounding and guaranteeing inside scoring, the opponent's defense is forced to collapse. This means space. Space for our shooters. Space for our playmakers. It gives our guards time to operate. It balances the floor. And let's not forget the mental aspect. Imagine being a New Zealand player. You battle Kaisado for 5 minutes. You think you figured him out, and then he sits down, and in walks Jun Marardo Fajardo. You survive him, and in comes AJ Edu to sweat your shot into the stands. It is demoralizing. It breaks the rhythm of the enemy. Conclusion. To wrap up this analysis, we are looking at a paradigm shift. The quadruple towers concept is real, and it is formidable. The Philippines has assembled a front court that is arguably the deepest and most versatile in the entire Asian circuit. New Zealand is walking into a trap. They are walking into a game where their traditional advantages, size and physicality, are nullified. They are facing a GILAS team that is ready to shake one of the most physical teams in the continent. The elegance is greater. The weight is heavier. The bench is deeper. The drought is over. The losing streak is broken. And now, GILAS isn't just looking for a win. They are looking for domination. They are looking to prove that the Philippines is the new giant of Asian basketball. The Tall Blacks have been warned. The mountains have moved, and they are wearing GILAS jerseys. This has been a deep dive into the strategic revolution of GILAS Pilipinas. Thank you for listening.